champion of the world has arrived. The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody. This is your brother, Haaziq Bronson from Muslim Peer Services. Just wanted to give a little quick talk on something that I noticed the other day. For those of you that don't know, I work in a chemical dependency outpatient program in Brooklyn, New York. And one of the things that I noticed that kind of disheartened me a little bit, not from the recovery community there, but from the Muslims. And what disheartened me was the fact that when we hear about those that are in recovery from alcohol or any type of chemical dependency or any kind of addiction in general, they have different programs. They have NA, they have AA, they have, all types of, different programs for them to go to. But when they go there and they introduce them as a newcomer, immediately they get swarmed, with hugs, with encouragement and stuff like that for them to continue on in their recovery. And then I was kind of contrasting that and comparing that with what happens when a person first takes Shahada in the masjid. And true indeed, that first, right after the Shahada, there are a lot of hugs, there's a lot of encouragement. But one thing they lack when they do go to NA and AA, not only do they encourage them to get mentors, there are people who are volunteering to be their mentor and volunteering to be their sponsor and volunteering to be their guide through this new walk of life that they're trying to embark on. And I don't see that in many masjids. Not saying in all, I'm saying in many. I don't really see that. And it's disheartening because we have the truth. And the most famous hadith of the Prophet ﷺ is one for your brother, what you want for yourself, right? And these are things that we rarely act on. Because in reality, most of us don't want for our brothers what we want for ourselves. We won't put our brother on to resources as far as jobs is concerned. If you know that the brother is out of work, or even if you don't, the point is you have those resources. Alhamdulillah, not to toot my own horn, but to give you an example. There was one time I was an employee somewhere, I want to say Jiffy Lube in Brooklyn. And it was a menial job, but alhamdulillah, there was a job position that was open. I just called the masjid and said, yo, if anybody needs work, send them down here, there's a position open. Just that simple. This is something that we can all do. When we see something open, we get back to the brothers and we try to help them out. But the comparisons are amazing because even those that are coming back to the masjid, they don't even have to be new shahadas. And I'm sitting there and the ants are crawling up my arms, subhanAllah. But, even new shahadas. And those that are not new shahadas but are returning to the masjid from whatever they were doing before, but now they are starting to practice Islam again, coming back to their deen. They also need services. Those that are newcomers to a masjid that are practicing their deen, but they just happen to be new to the community, they also need services. They may need services provided. So we could talk all day about the problems, but what are the solutions? It may be harder to do than others, but just like NAAA, all of that is voluntary. None of these people get paid to do what they do. Alhamdulillah, they take it upon themselves to not only sponsor somebody, but they also have committees. Like when a person comes in, who's talking to who? And who's doing what with who? Who's bringing the information? Who's volunteering to go out and speak at this place and that place? They go out and they actually get involved. And it's hard, for me to understand how a person who is in recovery, and make no doubt about it, most of us that took Shahada or are taking Shahada and just became Muslims recently, we're recovering from the dunya, believe me. All of the different aspects that go along with the dunya. We need that help as well. So we need committees, a welcoming committee, for lack of a better term. We need those who are going to get involved to be sponsors and mentors. We need those that are going to be involved to, walk with these people and be those people that they can call in the middle of the night sometimes when they're feeling like they're about to relapse. And we're not just talking about drugs. It might be just talking about going back to the streets. Or they might, it might be easier for them to find a girlfriend in the street than it is to find a wife because they just got to the community. So when they have these thoughts and these issues, they have no one to turn to. And like I said, believe me, like we say in the street, if it don't apply, let it fly. This is not for all masajid. This is not for all Muslim centers. This is not for everyone. But this is just my observation for those things that I've seen, since I've been around. I just want us to imagine what it would look like if every time a person walked into a masjid, there were 10, 12, 13, 14 brothers who were standing by, and sisters who were standing by ready to give not only their contact information, but to share resources with the brother or the sister. What it would be like to have even a handbook, of brothers' contacts, who have businesses in the area, just to say maybe the brother bought a new house and he needs an electrician. He's running all over the place looking for an electrician, and the masjid approves of a brother who, actually is an electrician. Subhanallah. It's not about, being better than anybody, but what it is about is just seeing how other people who are involved in this type of work, they have no problem volunteering their time. They have no problem giving up, a little bit of their time for emergency situations. They have no qualms about giving out their number to anybody. We have brothers who don't even want to talk to other brothers, for whatever reasons. And like I said, it's not just the new Shahada. It's the ones who are returning to the masjid. It's the ones who are in re-entry from incarceration. It's the ones who may just need help in the streets from not going back into the streets or wanting to go into the streets in general. Like a lot of our young people are struggling. They don't really have those mentors in place that can actually, put some time aside and say, you know what, I got you, young brother, or young sister. And this is how you can navigate that because I've been through it. We have to think about our Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he came to, at that time, was called Yathrib, or Medina, right? When he first got there, what did he do? He paired up the Muhajirin with those of the Ansar. And once he paired them up, the brothers took care of the rest. He paired them up because they knew how to navigate. They knew how to navigate. They knew the terrain. They knew the politics. They know who's who and what's what, how to live in a society, how the women were, how the men were, all these different things. They know how to live life in Medina. So when the Muhajirin came, the Prophet ﷺ paired them together, and it was easier for them to navigate that life now. And really, it's just that simple. This is what peer support and Muslim peer services is about. Trying to pair, like-minded individuals or someone who has been through what you've been through or what you're going through right now, that we can help you through it. And this is what we have to do as Muslims, and it's just what the Prophet ﷺ told us to do. Want for your brother what you want for yourself. Want for your sister what you want for yourself. And truly want that. And truly desire that. And you make dua for your brothers and sisters, all the time. Because we have to realize that when we say brothers and sisters, we are no longer just friends, we are family. We are even closer than blood. So we have to be mindful of, those situations and how we treat our brothers and sisters who are in recovery from the dunya as well. Recovery from alcohol, recovery from, amphetamines or opioids or whatever it is. That's true too. But we are all in recovery from his dunya, believe it or not. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect yourself and myself, to protect my kids and your kids, to give all of you the best in this life and the best in the hereafter. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless all of your children with righteous spouses. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep you and me far away from what he hates and bring us much closer to what he loves. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.